It is June 3rd, 2012. A plane which was scheduled from Abuja to Lagos with over 150 passengers didn't make it. This is the story of Ghana Airline, which was a plane scheduled for the morning flight from Abuja down to Lagos, which unfortunately didn't make it. The plane did not only lose all passengers, but it also took the life of 6 people on the ground when it crashed. This plane actually flew from Abuja, and when it got to Lagos International Airport, very close to the airport, the plane had an engine failure, which made the plane to crash. And people on board on this plane were all unalived. And the people who were witnesses said it sounded like a bomb. It sounded like an earthquake was about to happen, and people rushed out to see what was going on. And that was when they discovered that a plane has just landed. On today's video, we'll be discussing about the Ghana Airline, which crashed in the year 2012. Then the president of Nigeria was Jonathan Ibili, and he actually commenced a 3-day mourning for the lost souls. May their soul rest in peace. So this is actually the second biggest air or aviation disaster in Nigeria in the history of plane and aviation business. The biggest, which was in Kano, but that's not what we're discussing today. So what could be the cause of this plane crash? Anyways, a lot of information gotten from the internet and some that was released to the public states back to this plane crash being caused by engine failure and also some pilot error. Okay, the engine of this plane actually was faulty, and the plane was scheduled for the plane was actually scheduled for maintenance, which it didn't get before it took off. So due to Abuja to Lagos was less than 40 minutes, so they decided to land in Lagos and get this plane to maintenance personnel who get it fixed up. But unfortunately, the plane didn't land successfully in Lagos, and that was how 153 passengers in total lost their life, and 6 other who were on the floor lost their life, so making it a total of 159 passengers or people who lost their life to this plane crash. So this plane crash actually took a turn on the Nigerian economy as at the time, and the Ghana Airline had to halt their services, and they almost lost the right to fly on the sky. So after they did some information, thorough checking, and some rehabilitation to their plane and aviation system, they were later granted access to fly back to the air. Till this date, many Nigerians are still scared of flying Ghana Airline, not because of their plane crashes anymore, but because of the past experience and the past story they have actually had. Now, Ghana Airline is actually a very big company. There was a time it was rumored that it was actually owned by the first lady of Nigeria then, who was the wife of the former president, Jonathan Ibili. But all these were rumors, and allegedly, I'm not sure, and I can't give out that information if they are true or not. So this plane crash actually dealt with the Nigeria aviation economy, and as of the time, Nigeria don't have any international flights, so all the planes in Nigeria basically do local flights. For instance, Lagos to Kaduna, Imo to Abia and neighboring states, and that is how it actually works. But after then, Nigeria had to step up their game when air like Arik Air, Air Peace, and the rest started taking into action to better their own aviation system, and this actually helped the Nigerian aviation economy. Now, moving on to actually the main cause of this plane crash is due to bad engine, which would have been avoided if the plane actually went through thorough maintenance like it was scheduled for. Now, most people keep on blaming the government for not really caring. The government did not own the plane, and there are also bodies who were in charge of monitoring the aviation system. So I think the blame should be upon them and not the government. Now, those who actually lost their life were granted 3 days break for the whole country. It was announced as public holiday, no work, nothing. Everyone was home mourning these people. And after that, they were actually granted a befitting burial. So their family had to take them to give them their own type of burial, whereby those who the families couldn't recognize, the government had to bury them, and that was how it went. And aside from that, on today's video, if you go to the place where the plane actually crashed close to the international airport, that place is still well maintained. It's actually now a aerial ground, and they have actually built a tiny plane in memory of all the souls that were lost in the Ghana airline crash. And this is how the place currently looks. So the Ghana airline isn't the worst aviation disaster in Africa or in Nigeria. It is the second worst in Nigeria, and it's actually took life of 153 people, including 6 on the floor, making it 159. This was a massive hit at the time for Nigeria aviation, which was actually trying to make it fit and also stand. And Ghana airline was one of the dominable or one of the best airline then that you could actually fly. And this was the case for a very long time before the Ghana Airlines started making sure that airlines were in good fit before taking off. This is the story of the Ghana Airline. Is there anything you think we missed concerning this airline? Please do well to let us know in the comment section, and we will do well. So face that.